Thanks, Tom and Carolyn. That was wonderful. Great way to start the service. I wonder if you'll join me in our gathering litany on this fine Sunday morning. We come carrying ordinary lives, unfinished lists, familiar routines, conversations still echoing in our minds. And work done quietly, and meals shared, in hands that help, in moments no one else may ever notice.
There is holiness here.
When the world tells us to hurry, produce, achieve, and move on,
May we remember to be present. May we notice the beauty hidden in small things, the grace woven through everyday moments, the wonder we too easily overlook. May we pay attention to the light that is happening right now.
for perhaps the sacred is not waiting somewhere beyond this moment. Perhaps the sacred is already here.
In our reading, in our laughter, in our work, in one another, in ordinary lives, ordinary moments, ordinary days.
So bring your whole beautiful ordinary self. And together let us discover.
There is great holiness here.
Yes, there is. Why don't we rise up in body or spirit? It's our turn to sing a beautiful hymn, For the Beauty of the Earth. Such a beautiful song. Please be seated. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Faith United Church of Christ on this hot and sticky Sunday morning here in the month of August, the heat of summertime, as Tom just played for us. Special welcome to any visitors that we have with us today. First-time visitors, return visitors, whether you're in person here or you're online, you are welcome here. As we always say, all are welcome, and we mean that here 100% of the way. All are welcome, and it's so great that so many of you have come out to join us. If you are visiting here, we have a welcome book. We keep on the table out in the gathering space there. You can sign that. You can also, if you're on YouTube, for our online folks, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, like and share. And for all of you, if you want to know what's happening here, just scan that QR code now, and it runs after the service too out there, and you can it'll take you right to our Faith UCC Substack, and you can subscribe and find out all the great stuff that is happening around here. want to give a couple of shout outs here. Don and Marge are in the congregation with us, and that is a joy. Welcome, you guys. I'm glad you're here. Absolutely. Peter's here. Barb Campbell's son is here with us. So yeah, I love Peter. Always great to have you here. And we got Commissioner Jeff Gow in the house with us in the back over there. Welcome, Jeff. Glad you're here. This is like Jeff's second service today. He's he said he wanted to find some religion. And I said, well, Jeff, you came to the wrong place. Gonna find a lot of that here, Jeff. Oh, too funny. I'm only kidding. Come on, well, I'm sort of, more into the spiritual camp, definitely than the religious camp. You know me, but a couple other joys to lift up. There's a beautiful cake in there to celebrate some birthdays. One is Julie Del Giorno, who had a birthday on Thursday, and Ralph Coette in the back over there, who provided the cake, had a birthday on Friday. So happy birthday to both of you. Any other birthdays you want to out yourself right now? And you got a birthday coming up? Oh, yeah? Yeah, we got a birthday? All right. Willie's got a birthday. All right. When is it? Thursday. Happy birthday, Willie. That's awesome. So there's a cake for you, too, out on the gathering space after the service. Hey, another joy I want to lift up is Carolyn Scheuer is in the house, and she had her final infusion treatment at Moffitt on Friday. So, yeah. We've been thinking about you, and we'll just, so happy. You look great, and yeah. Blessing to have you with us, Carolyn. Always. Any other joys everybody wants to lift up on this joyful Sunday morning? I got another one I want to share out. I've been meaning to share this for a couple weeks now because it's just such great. Okay. Well, first we're going to do Ladies in the Louvre. We're continuing with our series today. We're going to explore the world of Jan Vermeer, famous Dutch artist, and his beautiful. This painting has become just mesmerized me this week. A painting called The Lace Maker. Next week, we're going to get the very controversial Caravaggio's The Death of the Virgin. This is quite a work, and he was quite a scoundrel of a painter, but terrible human being, but just did amazing work. And then we're going to end the final week of this with my favorite painting at the Louvre, Lady Liberty there, leading the people. I think that's a painting that sums up where we are in this nation at this time, is we need the people to rise up. So that'll be a great way to end this series. If you want copies of any of the previous sermons, you missed them, you can always go listen to them on YouTube, or I'd be happy to provide a copy for you as well in print if you would like that. Here's the good news I wanted to get to. I want to share this out. This year, we have saved so far $2,619 in energy costs from our solar panels. Last month in July, last year was $603 was our bill. This year it's $3,850. Yeah. In fact, it was $3,850 the previous 4 months on the dot. This month, last year, we spent like $850. Is it going to be? We going drum roll $3,850? Yeah. Well, I'll bring you the tally when it comes up. So, but that's not all the good news. There's more good news. We received our energy credit of over $23,000. Thanks to the hard work of one Julie Del Giorno. That's the reason we got that money. She was tenacious and stayed on it. Woo, a little celebration there. That's awesome. So 23 grand came back. Our solar's completely paid off. So we're just saving money on our energy costs every single month. So it's a big deal. You guys did a great thing last year in going solar. And so I want to share. I'll keep sharing out these numbers as we get them, so we can be really proud of the work that we're doing. So yeah. That's really awesome. Yeah. Great news. So today's about the ordinary. I picked up on that theme, our ordinary lives and the holiness that really is the extraordinary ordinary. Because that's kind of what our painting is for today. So I'm going to share a little poem by Mary Oliver called Mindful that really fits well the theme of this day. But first I want to invite you just to take a couple of deep breaths in. Keep a deep breath in and breathe out. And as you breathe in, try and think of something that makes you happy and brings a smile to your lips. Hold it there for a moment. And as you breathe out, try and let go of some of the anxiety you're carrying, the busyness. It's our theme for the day. Letting go of the hurry. This is Mindful by Mary Oliver. Every day, I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight. It leaves me like a needle in a haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world, to instruct myself over and over in joy and acclamation. Nor am I talking about the exceptional, the fearful, the dreadful, the very extravagant, but of the ordinary, the common, the very drab, the daily presentations. Oh, good scholar, I say to myself, how can you help but grow wise with such teachings as these? The untrimmable light of the world, the ocean shine, the prayers that are made out of grass. Breathe in and breathe out. And let's be in worship together with a duet from Dan and Tom.
Blessed assurance, love leads the way, welcoming all to hope's brighter day. Children of Spirit, neighbors and friends, grace without borders that will end. This is our story, this is our song, sharing God's justice all our days long. This is our story, this is our song, living God's mercy all our lives long. Called into service, arms open wide, walking with those who stand by my side, seeking God's image, cherished in all, answering love, compassion all. This is our story, this is our song, sharing God's justice all our lives long. This is our story, this is our song, living God's mercy all our lives long. Blessed communion, earth, sea, and sky, gifts of creation, holy and high. Hope for tomorrow, each yet to grow, planting God's kindness wherever we go. This is our story, this is our song, sharing God's justice all our lives long. This is our story, this is our song, living God's mercy all our lives long.
Oops. Our reading today comes from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verses 38 through 42. It is a wonderfully ordinary scene. Friends gathered in a home, a meal being prepared, work that needs to be done, and a conversation unfolding. And yet, right there in the middle of the ordinary, Jesus invites us to notice something deeper. How easily we can become so distracted by everything demanding our attention that we miss the sacred moment right in front of us. Hear the story of Jesus, Mary, and Martha. As they continued their travel, Jesus entered a village. A woman by the name of Martha welcomed him and made him feel quite at home. She had a sister, Mary, who sat before the Master, hanging on every word he said. But Martha was pulled away by all she had to do in the kitchen. Later, she stepped in, interrupting them. Master, don't you care that my sister has abandoned the kitchen to me? Tell her to lend me a hand. The Master said, Martha, dear Martha, you're fussing far too much and getting yourself worked up over nothing. One thing only is essential, and Mary has chosen it. It's the main course and won't be taken from her.
This is like the Tom show today. Who gave him so many roles? This is a very dramatic reading, Tom. Very dramatic. This is actually a painting by Jan Vermeer, one of the very few, I don't talk about it, but one of the very few religious paintings that he did. So kind of fascinating. Yeah, beautiful image of Mary and Martha and Jesus. Yeah. So some of you know this little story I'm going to open with, so don't ruin it for the rest of them that have never heard this story. Or maybe you've forgotten. I once heard a story about a man who arrived at the Canadian border, north of Detroit, on his bicycle. Behind him on the rack, he had a box full of sand. What have you got in there? Asked the customs official. Nothing. Well, let's just take a look. Customs official raked his fingers through the box of sand, finding nothing, so he waved him on. A few days later, the man was back again with the same box of sand behind the seat on the bicycle. Well, what have you got this time? Same thing, he says, nothing. This time, the official took the bicycle and he turned it upside down. He shook it out, he took the box apart, and still he found nothing. For weeks, the scene was reenacted. Each time the customs official, certain he was going to find whatever this man was smuggling through. But he never did. Several years later, the customs official, now retired, was having himself a few beers in a bar in Detroit. Suddenly, he spied the cyclist coming through the door and hailing him. He bought him a drink, bought him a beer, and he said, look, it doesn't mean anything to me now that I'm retired, but I'm curious, what was it you were smuggling all that time? The answer? Bicycles. Bicycles. Now, I've shared that again before. I borrowed it from the great pastor William Sloane Coffin, although some others have told me you've heard it in different forms and in other ways. But I was thinking about it again this week as I was reflecting on both our painting from Jan Vermeer, The Lace Maker, and our scripture text about Martha and Mary because of the seemingly ordinary nature of their stories. An ordinary conversation and an ordinary act of making lace. But underneath both their stories is the idea that the ordinary can be extraordinary if we are willing to open our eyes and see what is right in front of us. Luke told us of a simple conversation that was nothing short of imbued with holiness, and Jan Vermeer took a simple act of an ordinary young woman and turned it into a masterpiece of beautiful simplicity. And in both of these, we learn a deep lesson we need to hear in our lives time and again that the world is loaded with holiness and extraordinary moments, even when they seem really simple and ordinary. And we need to slow down our lives. And we need to tune in and go against the grain of our busy culture and bask in their glow. And if we don't, we miss the bicycle right in front of our eyes. So we'll return to the fascinating story of Mary and Martha and their ordinary, extraordinary conversation with Jesus in a moment. But first, I want to introduce you to Our Lady of the Louvre for this week and the mysterious Dutch painter who created her. Isn't that beautiful? So simple. Ask most people who the most famous woman in a particular painting is, and you will undoubtedly hear the name of one of our previous ladies of the Louvre. You know who it is? The Mona Lisa. First and foremost, I bet 99% of people would say that. But ask for the second most well-known. And our artist today, Jan Vermeer, often comes up because he is the one who painted the second most well-known woman in art, the girl with the pearl earring. That hangs in the Hague Gallery in the Netherlands. It's just an exquisite masterpiece that has been the subject of books and movies and so much more. That, in fact, used to be my favorite Vermeer painting, but after walking into the Dutch section of the Louvre and seeing the lace maker, I've since changed my opinion. But the lace maker is like a sheer masterpiece in so many ways, and I'm not alone in that opinion, for no less than St. Pete's own Salvador Dali was absolutely mesmerized by this painting, replicating it in different ways over 50 times throughout his career. He's quoted as saying, as only this quite eccentric man can, up until now, and I'll put it back up in a second, up until now, the lace maker has always been considered a very peaceful, very calm painting, but for me, it is possessed by the most violent aesthetic power to which only the recently discovered anti-proton can be compared. He was a weird guy, wasn't he? The guy was weird. And for some reason, he even believed that the lace maker and the rhinoceros were spiritual cousins. Isn't that crazy? He even made a film called The Prodigious Story of the Lace Maker and the Rhinoceros, where he tries to get this rhinoceros to destroy the painting. I watched it, so you don't have to. And it's the strangest thing I've ever seen. This guy was out there. I'm going to do a sermon on him one day. Anyway, Dali aside, the lace maker's origin story begins likely in a city called Delft in the Netherlands, Holland, where the painter Jan Vermeer lived his short life. Now, what's mysterious and interesting about him was that somehow he became one of the most famous artists in history while leaving behind remarkably little work. He only did about less than 3 dozen paintings that are accepted as his today. He was born in Delft in 1632, and he didn't spend his career painting, as so many did in that time, kings or battles or grand historical scenes. Instead, he became the master of the ordinary. He painted women reading letters, or pouring milk, or playing music, or talking with friends. And of course, making lace. What made him extraordinary was his ability to use light and color and perspective and astonishing attention to detail to make these quiet domestic moments feel almost sacred. He wasn't particularly famous when he died in 1675, and he died broke and penniless. And for nearly 2 centuries, he was pretty much largely forgotten. But today, paintings like the one we saw earlier, the girl with the pearl earring, and our work for today, the lace maker, have made him one of the most beloved painters in Western art, which is actually wonderfully appropriate for an artist who spent his life showing us just how much beauty can be hiding in plain sight. So when I laid eyes on this painting, on the lace maker, I was surprised how small it is. It's smaller than the Mona Lisa. It's about 9 inches by 8 inches. It's like a really small painting. And I studied it, and I quickly noticed there's almost nothing dramatic happening in it. And I've since realized that that's a part of its appeal and its lesson for us. It's just an unnamed young woman sitting quietly at a table, leaning forward, completely absorbed in the delicate work of making lace, which was a popular thing to do in Dutch culture at this time. I mean, look at her. Her eyes are focused downward. Her hands are carefully working the threads in front of her, while brilliant strands of that red and white thread seem to almost kind of spill out towards us. There's no grand landscape. There's no important historical event. There's no hidden codes or things to guess at like in the Mona Lisa. It's just a young woman doing something incredibly intricate and ordinary as she focuses her full attention on her craft. And yet, given the seemingly insignificant nature of the subject, Vermeer's use of light and color and focus and intimacy somehow makes us just want to lean in. Don't you feel like you just want to lean in closer to this painting and see what she's working on? That was his gift. He takes a small, everyday moment that most of us would probably just walk right past, and he says, in effect, no way, look again, there's beauty here, there's something worth noticing here. And though this is a subject matter from hundreds of years ago, she is offering a much-needed lesson to us today in our place and time simply by the way she works so undistracted. She isn't just making lace. She's completely and utterly present to what she is doing. That's very difficult for us to do these days, right? Look at her. Her head is bent. Her eyes are fixed. Her hands are carefully working those tiny threads, and she isn't looking out the window, wondering what she has to do next. She's not checking her phone. I suppose that would have been rather difficult. 1670. She isn't trying to do 3 things at once. She's just simply there, fully absorbed in this seemingly ordinary moment. And maybe that's the part of what Vermeer found so beautiful and what Dali couldn't stop looking at centuries later, because there's something almost sacred about that kind of attention. Something holy about being fully present to a person or a task or a conversation or a moment that is right in front of you. We don't do that very well. And I wonder how often we miss exactly that, not because the holy isn't there, but because we're always somewhere else. This is a masterpiece of undistracted mindfulness. Mindfulness brings me back to Mary and Martha, a great, though often misunderstood and poorly interpreted story. Now, in this short story, Jesus is traveling along with his disciples, and his journey brings him through Bethany. It's just a couple miles outside of Jerusalem. Somehow he comes upon his friend, Martha. They were good friends, and she invites him to her and her sister Mary's home for a meal and hospitality. And Martha's in the kitchen, doing the important work, providing hospitality. And Mary's just sitting around, as you heard Tom read, listening to Jesus speak. Now, interestingly, she is sitting at his feet, we are told, which is an act of a follower or a disciple. It's akin to a student learning from a rabbi. That kind of puts her in a really different light than how we're usually kind of taught to see her. Because we know women were systematically written out of any kind of leadership roles in the Bible, right? So anyway, here's Jesus talking, and Mary is learning, and Martha is cooking, and all of a sudden, in a moment of apparent frustration, Martha barges over and she goes, "Hey," just like Tom read. "Hey!" I imagine she said it like that. "Hey! Don't you care that I'm doing all this work? My sister is just sitting there?" And Jesus laughs. The text doesn't say that, but I know deep down that he does. I think Jesus laughed all the time. But how do I know that? Why do I think that he laughed? Because he doesn't just say Martha like that. Like that's how it's often interpreted. He went, "Martha." He went, "Martha, Martha. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia." That's been going through my mind like a tape all week. Because every time I see Martha, Martha, I think of the Brady Bunch and Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. He doesn't go, "Martha." He says, "Martha, Martha," and he's laughing, and then he tells her she's missing out because of her being so distracted. That's what the word Luke uses. And this is where so many get the story wrong. He isn't castigating her, for he of all people knew the importance of hospitality and sharing a meal. This guy was eating with people all the time. That's like all he did in Luke. This guy loved a dinner party, and he liked to laugh. I know that. The word that Luke used, distracted, in Greek means something very different than our usage today. For Luke, in the story, the word technically means being pulled apart or pulled in a bunch of different directions. So Jesus is effectively saying, "Martha, Martha, Marcia, 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 you're worried, you're distracted, you're being pulled in 100 different directions, but what you are really missing is presence and a chance just to slow down and not miss the holy or amazing, simple moments in life. He's saying the same thing that the bicycle story is saying. That so often we're so busy digging in the proverbial sands of busyness that we miss the obvious moments vying for our attention right in front of us. And therefore we miss the best moments of life overall. He's not saying what is usually inferred about this story, Mary good, Martha bad. That's often how this is interpreted. Not in any way. He has compassion on Martha. He's the same guy that told us to slow down and notice the lilies of the fields and the birds of the air. And he's telling us again that the distractive life is the enemy of the spiritual, mindful life. And honestly, I think when we hear the story, we all want to think we identify with Mary, right? Or we identify with the lace maker. But the truth is, in this day and age, again, we are all Martha. Most of it. I'll speak for myself. I am Martha. Being pulled in 100 different directions at once to the point of where that kind of mindfulness that the lace maker has or Mary has is all but impossible. I mean, in any given hour, just take 1 hour, you were distracted by what? The phone, email, text, Facebook, news alert, Instagram, WhatsApp, more news alerts, work, more news alerts, dinner, calendar. Somebody needs something. Something's beeping. Something's vibrating. Something's overdue. Something needs to be ordered. Something's coming to the door, and on and on and on it goes. Are you with me? Yeah. Mindfulness is slowing down and noticing the extraordinary, ordinary moments is all but impossible, it seems. But the heart of our spiritual lives are longing for restful times like Mary, more mindful times like the lace maker, and less distracted, pulled apart times like Martha. That's what that story means. And so I think the invitation this morning, obviously it's not to throw away our phones or our computers or our televisions or cancel your Amazon account. Sorry, Julie. Or to stop making dinner or to somehow become people who have nothing to do. That's not it. Martha still had a meal to prepare. After all, the lace maker still has lace to make, and we still have lives to live and to create. So maybe the invitation is simply to be where we are while we are there. Let me read that again. To be where we are while we are there. To pay attention. To notice the person sitting across the table from us. To taste the food. To feel the sun on our face. To listen when someone is speaking. To take a walk without needing to accomplish anything along the way. Again, notice the birds of the air and the lilies of the fields and all those wonderfully ordinary things that Jesus kept pointing towards and saying, look, don't miss out. Don't miss this. Because maybe the great spiritual tragedy of our lives isn't that the holy is absent. Maybe it's that we are. My friends, the world is loaded with holiness. I believe that. Loaded with it, thick with it. Barbara Brown Taylor, in her wonderful book, An Altar in the World, if you've never read it, give it a read. She said, the world is so thick with divine possibility that it is a wonder we can walk anywhere without cracking our shins on altars. Altars representing simple, holy, ordinary moments. So this ancient story of Mary and Martha and Jesus and a painting from a mysterious painter from Delft, 400 years ago, come together today to offer us a mirror. To hold up a mirror to look at ourselves with a profound lesson to just slow it down. To look again, to be here, to pay attention to what is right in front of you. Because somewhere today, I guarantee you, in the midst of something completely ordinary in your life, there will be a moment worth noticing. A moment of beauty, a moment of connection, a moment of sheer holiness. And my hope for all of us is that when that moment comes, we won't be busy digging through the sands, that we miss the bicycle sitting right in front of our eyes. Namaste. Amen. Let's just sit with that for a bit and have a gentle, ordinary, peaceful moment. We'll chant this beautiful chant through 3 times. With peace, love, and light. Such a beautiful chant, isn't it? Love that. Come to a time of a little more intentional stillness and prayer. Just want to hold some folks in our hearts and prayers, and that's Fran Mitchell, who's just had a tough week and made tougher by their beloved Rafa, their golden retriever, basically had to have 2 knee replacements this week as well, on top of everything that they're already going through with Fran's health. And so Fran and I were thinking of you and Rafa this day. Know you're having a hard time, so hope there's some good days ahead. And continue to hold our friend Roger Fortier in your hearts and prayers, and Mark Hewitt, and Bill Swisher, and Rosa Luna, and Molly and John Hancock. I see Molly's with us today, and of course Jeff and Betsy Gannier, and Cindy Black as well. I had a note that Cindy Black, who's dealing with a nasty, really bad infection, she's back in the hospital, and she had a seizure. So she is, hold Cindy and Barbara both in your hearts and prayers this day. The quiet whisper of God draws us into stillness, sacred pause where we can rest gently in the Holy One in whom we live and move and share our being. So let's receive that invitation, and let's slow down, breathe deeply, become present to this moment, to the ordinary miracle of breath, or the people beside us, or the light around us, and the simple gift of just being here. Let's enjoy a moment of silent prayer together. As we return from the deep silence, beyond sound, beyond words, we carry with us, inside of us, fears and hopes and prayers for those close to us, for the world around us. So if you feel so moved, I invite you to speak their names aloud now. Who are you holding? Oh, for those we name and those that we hold quietly in our hearts, we pray, O Holy One, and for a nation burdened by fear and fracture, yet still reaching for healing, we pray for a world torn by war, greed and injustice. We ask for light in the shadows, and our immigrant sisters and brothers who are being torn apart by pure evil. For those in detention centers and families divided, we pray. Shape us, O God, into people of courage, of optimism and compassion, people who do justice, love mercy, and always walk humbly. And let us be part of the healing. And in the midst of all that is heavy, teach us not to miss what is beautiful and good, and sunlight through a window, or bird song in the morning, or a meal shared, and work done with our hands, laughter with a friend. May these ordinary gifts remind us that the world is still filled with wonder, even amidst all the horrors. And may that keep us moving forward with hope. May we have the eyes to notice, the hearts to receive, and lives awake enough to discover your presence woven through it all. Make our prayer this day. I wonder if you'll join me in praying that ancient prayer that Jesus asked us to pray from those hillsides long ago, the Lord's Prayer. And please choose your most cherished image, whether that be Father, Mother, or Creator. Will you join me? Our Creator, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. Before we head to a time of hospitality and get to that good-looking cake that's in there, or run on in there and all the other stuff, the goodies are around it, I just want to lift up a couple of announcements. The Faith UCC book group will meet again on Monday, September 14th, 10:30 to noon. They circle up in the back here, the sanctuary. I think they want to get this to you now because the expectation is that this book will have been read, right, and completely? Yeah. So yeah, it's The Lion Women of Tehran, which I hear is a phenomenal book. So if you are interested in that, all are welcome. And again, it'll be on September 14th, 10:30 to noon, right in the back of the sanctuary in a big old circle. So yeah, I'll talk to Marge Brown is here in the back, and she can answer any questions that you might have about that. Of course, last week you heard from our friend Chuck about giving these kids in Haiti a phenomenal Christmas. Chuck's traveling, so we're gonna try and start working on this now by finding some people that want to help him work on this. A couple of you already reached out and said you would love to be a part of a team. But basically the gist is we're gonna raise the funds to purchase 300 to 500 backpacks, toys, food, supply a big meal for the kids. We'll do a nice write-up about it. So if you missed last week, you can actually go back and watch the YouTube service from last week if you'd like, and you'll hear all about it there. The work for Haiti with Love, because Rosalind, who runs that organization, was here with us. But otherwise, we'll do a nice write-up this week as well. But we do want some folks that really want to work on this with Chuck and Rosalind to make it really a successful endeavor. Many of you already talked with me, and you're very excited for this project, so that's really cool to hear that, because we're going to give these kids in Haiti a phenomenal Christmas, and that's going to make our Christmas Eve celebration here all that much more special as well. So watch for a lot more information on this. I know some people have already donated. You can do cash. I think we're going to put a bin out to bring in toys, but we want to make some parameters around that, because all these things have to fit in the backpacks, and if something comes in for $40, and I think we want to keep the prices all the same, so we're all kind of, because doesn't it sound fun to go out and do some Christmas shopping for some kids? I think it'd be cool to have a big old box of overflowing with toys here that we could then get. And I think we're going to aim to have a backpack stuffing party maybe sometime in the end of October. So we're going to work pretty fast on this. So again, if you're like, what is he talking about? Just watch for more information to come. But we are going to make some kids Christmas, and it's going to happen from right here. So really, really exciting. Any other quick announcements anybody wants to make? Yes, Linda?
Choir started this week. We start singing in September.
Right.
We need people to come on Thursdays from 6:30 to 8, and if you haven't sung in the choir before, please consider it.
Cindy, is that what you were going to say too? Ditto. She beat you to the punch. Yeah, choir starts up. It started on Thursday for rehearsals. Their first time back with us singing will be the first Labor Day weekend in September. So if you're interested, what's that? Isn't that Labor Day weekend? I think it is. Yeah. Casey. He shaves his beard off and he loses his mind, I tell you. If you are interested in singing in the choir, see Cindy over here, and she would love to tell you more about it. Yeah. Any other quick announcements anybody's got to make? All right. I want to thank you for all your giving. We're going to get a pop filter for this. This is a lot of popping today. Fix that this week. I want to thank you for all your giving. You're just such a generous congregation. We did like another 250 pounds of food to Dunedin Cares this week. Just wonderful to see. If you're visiting with us and you're like, I've got all this cash in my pockets, I don't know what to do with it. Well, good luck. Good news for you. We have plates on the back table there. You can leave that in or write a check. Anything you want to do, make a love offering for what we do here. And if you're online, just go to our website, faithucc.org, and you can give right there. All of your giving supports the work that we do to be a community where all are welcome in this community. So yeah, it's awesome. Thank you for your generosity. Okay, friends, well, I hope you're enjoying this Ladies of the Louvre series. I'm sure having fun with it because art's my thing and I love it. And trying to pair it with a scripture text is a lot of fun. Next week's going to be wild. It's going to be as wild as you can get with a work of art because this thing was banned. This is a painting that was banned. They literally banned this painting because I don't want to give too much away, but it's one of the very few paintings that shows Mary dead. And if I remember, Caravaggio used an actual dead prostitute as the model for Mary, which made, don't quote me on that, I got to look more into that, research on that, but it was definitely a prostitute he used, and it was scandalous, and people got very upset, and he was a terrible human being anyways, Caravaggio, but we'll talk more about that next week. So there's your teaser. I know you're all on the edge now. You're like, I got to hear this sermon. Oh my God. A scandal, a terrible human being. What is this? What is going on here? So yeah, that'll be next week, and that'll be a lot of fun. So I hope you're enjoying this series. So, all right, before we head in for hospitality, we got one more thing to do. Let's rise up in body or spirit and sing our way out of here. I hope you have a wonderful week, but stick around for a little while, greet an old friend, get to know a new friend, and yeah, let's be the community that we are. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with us. Amen.